What most people know but don't realize that they know is that the world is almost entirely solar powered already. If the sun wasn't there, we'd be a frozen ice ball at 3 degrees Kelvin, and the sun powers the entire system of precipitation. The whole ecosystem is solar powered. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. Pay attention to negative feedback and solicit it, particularly from friends. Hardline does that, and it's incredibly helpful. You have to be pretty driven to make it happen. Otherwise, you will just make yourself miserable. Life on Earth must be about more than just solving problems. It's got to be something inspiring, even if it is vicarious. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop, where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. I tend to approach things from a physics framework, and physics teaches you to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people who do it as it is about the product they sell. If you go back a few hundred years, what we take for granted today would seem like a magic, being able to talk to people over long distances, to transmit images, flying, accessing vast amounts of data like an oracle. These are all things that would have been considered magic a few hundred years ago. I came to the conclusion that we should aspire to increase the scope and scale of human consciousness in order to better understand what questions to ask. Really, the only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. Brain is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind, but brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. The space shuttle was often used as an example of why you shouldn't even attempt to make something reusable. But one failed experiment does not invalidate the greater goal. If that was the case, we'd never have had the light bulb.